Look at your latest business news now, and what we're focusing on this hour is the National Treasury publishing the draft legislation on giving pension fund members early access to their retirement savings. During the national budget speech, Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana said that he would create an environment where people can withdraw their funds, but this would need the approval of each of the fund's trustees. Now, consultations are currently underway, and it's expected that the draft legislation will be published for comment in June. Joining me now for more on this is Dumo Mbethe, who's the Chief Executive of Momentum Metropolitan Africa. Thank you very much for your time this evening, Dumo. So what exactly does early withdrawal of pension funds and early access retirement entail?
Good evening, Rofhiwa, and a very good evening to all of your viewers. Rofhiwa, I now have the very good fortune of being the CEO of Momentum Corporate, and very happy to be chatting to you this evening around some very critical upcoming changes in our retirement framework in South Africa. Now, what is envisaged by National Treasury here is a situation where we start to really avoid a situation which has been taking place for many years now, where people, when under financial stress, actually resign from their jobs in order to access their pension funds. So this really leads to a spiral effect and a snowball effect, where you find that by the time people are getting to retirement age, they actually have not saved enough for retirement. So what these proposals basically ensure is that individuals are able to access part of their pension savings in times of financial stress before retirement, and then a second pot will then be available for retirement purposes. And that second pot, which will be 2/3 of what has been saved, will then be used to buy an income at retirement age. So that's essentially what this entails. I mean, that the regulations themselves will also preserve any rights that are currently vested in what balances individuals would have accumulated by the time the legislation becomes effective. So they'll still be able to withdraw those fully in the event that they do change jobs. So I think this is really a forward-looking piece of legislation that says, how do we, on a sustainable basis, ensure that South Africans are able to navigate short-term financial stress whilst saving for the longer term, which is the retirement.
Now, absolutely. I mean, I hear what you're saying in terms of the positive step that we are taking here in terms of creating some kind of sustainable way for people to be able to deal with financial distress. But is it really the best way to provide relief to consumers given the low levels of a savings culture that we have in the country?
Yeah, look, I must say I'll probably say it's one of the ways. Is it the best way? Maybe yes, in the sense that retirement funds and retirement savings tend to be the largest investment most South Africans would have. And even the risk benefits that are provided by those retirement funds would be the largest form of insurance, or perhaps even the only form of insurance that individuals have access to, at least for those who are fortunate enough to be employed. Now, the reality, though, is that the savings culture has been so poor over the years that, just to give you an idea, I mean, in our own umbrella fund, we have about 340,000 members, covering over 4,700 employers. And if you look across that member base, the average accumulated funds is actually 170,000. And in addition to that, only about 51% of the member base have saved 30,000 Rand or more.
Yes.
Now, what compounds this scourge is the fact that people tend to withdraw all of their savings when they change employers. And I think this is where these regulations will really assist. Firstly, in creating some form of early access, but then also ensuring that there is a certain level of compulsory preservation that actually serves to protect what has been saved up to a point. And I think in the fullness of time, actually, what we will see is a very positive impact.
Yes.
Unfortunately, as things stand today, we need to manage expectations. I mean, the numbers on average will be quite small.
No, absolutely. Dumo Mbethe, CEO at Momentum Corporate, joining us this evening to talk about that legislation and what exactly is going to happen when it comes into effect. Here's a quick look